Hey everyone, welcome to Spiritual Journey. My name is Colleen Jorgensen, and I am going to talk about Pluto in Aquarius. So I have been kind of procrastinating with this topic in this transit. I think it's because Pluto is a very slow moving planet. And so this isn't something that's going to be short term. It's a very long process that is going to take place. And so I wanted to really make sure that I knew what was going to transpire. So I don't want to go into long-term projections. Most people want to know what's going on now and short-term into the future. So this is just new energy. It hasn't been here in Aquarius for 248 years. And so I wanted to take my time in making projections about the energy that could transpire here. So Pluto, in its ingress on March 23rd of this month, a couple days ago, moved for the first time into Aquarius, and it hasn't been here for 248 years. When it moved into Aquarius, it re-triggered the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction of 2020 at the winter solstice, which shifted us from earth element to air element. So now with Pluto moving into the air sign of Aquarius, it is really triggering the air element and this new age that is upon us. And really, we are now, as far as I'm concerned, in the age of Aquarius. So this transit through Aquarius is really going to revolutionize the way humanity lives. So Pluto is a planet of death and rebirth. He is the lord of the underworld. And he really does not like to give up easily. He's persistent. So just like when we're in the throes of death, as Pluto rules, we don't give up. We fight for every breath we take in order to survive. And Pluto is very much like this. He will not give up in order to dismantle or take apart what needs to be given death in order to regenerate and rebirth. So as much as Pluto is about dying, death, it is also the seeds of conception and the rebirthing of something new. And the transformation that takes place with such an event. And so just like the fall, when Pluto takes back his wife, Persephone, down into the underworld, and winter comes upon us and everything falls back. The leaves die, they fall into the earth absorbs them, regenerates them, so we can plant seeds and rebirth the earth. And in the spring, Persephone is returned to her mother, and Mother Earth comes alive again. So Pluto is very much about taking something, rejuvenating it through the dying process and rebirthing it into something new. So Pluto is about rejuvenation, regeneration through that death and rebirth process. Pluto has no end to its rebound ability, its ability to rejuvenate itself, pick itself up, and carry on. And so you can sort of realize this on the battlefield when that determination needs to kick in for survival. It is death or it is conquering. And Pluto is very much like this. It can be very intense. It's very intense energy. It's very overwhelming energy. And it's quite often very traumatic. Of course, when something dies within our lives, it is traumatic for those left behind and for that person who is going through the transformation of death. So this produces chaos. It produces pressure to discover what is the underlying cause of what is happening. Almost like we need some sort of excuse for this to happen, or we need to blame somebody with Pluto's energy. We need to figure it out. How could this have happened? So there's always a mystery or a secret surrounding the energy of Pluto. How could I have not noticed this? How could my head have been buried in the sand? And so we have this deep energy that resides here with Pluto, even if it isn't killing something. So it produces struggle. It produces an energy of holding us hostage to a certain event or to a certain task that is happening in our lives. We get fixated and obsessed with this energy to solve the mystery of it, to figure out what happened, and to really look deeper than the here and now. Pluto is not light and fluffy. It's not your feel-good kind of energy. But boy, does it give you power. And Pluto in Aquarius says, where is your power? Where do you have the most rejuvenation ability? What is being dismantled and what is being reorganized and put back together? This is where in your chart, this deep energy is manifesting. So it can seem traumatic, but we do need to look long-term to figure out where and how we can deal with this. Pluto seeks to detoxify. It's the garbage, the waste, the elimination, to get rid of it. So it rules things like garbage dumps, sewer systems, any of those really underground, undesirable places to be. And it seeks to change that product into something that can rejuvenate and give birth again. So we take the manure, we mix it up with some earth, and we can have this beautiful soil to grow beautiful plants in. So we must be cautious because we can get all consuming, all in energy with Pluto. And never give up. I'm going to do it until I die. And so this produces crisis, chaos. It produces this detachment sometimes from what is actually going on in order to solve the mystery of things. So Pluto is ruled by the 20th card in the tarot, and that is Judgment. And the Judgment card is really about discovering the truth, to receiving information that is relevant in order to solve that mystery. And so once we have found it, it's like an awakening. It's like, oh man, it was there all along and I just didn't see it, or nobody spoke of it. I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the information to guide me. So this is very much about that awakening and realizations of what is actually going on and why it is going on. So Pluto is extremely intense. Pluto entered Aquarius on March 23rd. This is going to be very short-lived. He will exit Aquarius on June 11th of 2023. He will then move back into Aquarius on January 21st of 2024. He will move out of Aquarius back into Capricorn September 1st of 2024. He will then move into Aquarius on November 19th of 2024, and he will remain there until March the 9th of 2043. This is a very long haul. It's going to make massive changes to our society and where we have the power. So Aquarius is really about group consciousness on a much higher level than Gemini, which spreads gossip, relays information through learning, and talking to our neighbors. This transference of information is quite a bit larger. It's the ether, it's the Akashic, it is the muses whispering in our ears, all kinds of ideas about what we should invent, what direction we should go in next. Suddenly the light bulb goes off and we go, aha, I figured it out. So what we believe to be true within society's realms with Pluto here may not be at all the truth. We could be simply on the verge of discovering the truth. So Pluto, when it entered Capricorn in 2008, 2008, what it did is it said, where is the power? Where is my power? And many people began the process of starting their own little businesses because that gave them the power and the control of their own destiny. And Pluto here in Capricorn also sought for leaders and government officials to seek control, to control many things, but also to grasp the wealth, because Pluto is about wealth. So we had this control issue going with Pluto and Capricorn. But also what Pluto did in Capricorn was change the way we do business. The brick and mortar stores started to give way to internet. We began to work at home with the onset of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. We began to experience more liberty and freedoms in how we work. And so there was a huge shift towards independence in the workplace. Aquarius is also about mass movements, which bring about transformation and change within society. So this is now going on in the world. Haiti is experiencing an uprising. Leaders in their last-ditch effort will seek to try a mandate that they hang on to power, that they govern themselves for a long time, long endurance, almost like a dictatorship and not a democracy. And what is democracy? How does that factor in society? And that is some of the questions that Pluto's going to dig out. So in the next couple years, we are going to have most likely great struggles with various leaders and groups of people rising up against these leaders to dig out what it is their mandate actually is. Their control is waning. And so this is the deterioration of the way we function with government today. So our social norms rest in Aquarius. It's friendships, expectations, colleagues, hopes, dreams, vision, the transference of that information through many sources, but a higher level of it. The internet, the old Roman bathhouses. So it's community-based and people coming together in those movements of like-minded belief systems. And even changing of belief systems as we know it. It is the sharing of those resources that we have, those tribal connections that we have, and the forming of new communities based on those belief systems. Aquarius is equality, independence, liberty. It's democracy at its finest. So here we are going to break away from old controls. And doesn't it remind you of something? So the last time Pluto was in Aquarius was when the United States of America broke away from England and became its own nation. It was when the French Revolution happened. So this can bring about a pivotal point of change in how we function as a society. And the possibilities are endless. Do we break away within our own countries into smaller fractions, governing ourselves in smaller communities now? Do we feel as though various parts of the communities are left out and segregated from certain people? That is what is happening now. Where is the control? Who's got it? And do you have it? So through Aquarius, we become fragmented, disengaged from the norm because we see a new journey unfolding. We see the birth of something bigger than ourselves emerging. We see new, fresh, exciting possibilities. Mass movements of resistance, rebellion, based on the concepts of freedom and liberty and equality. So differing belief systems can fracture us. Oppressive energy can fracture us into groups with different social standards and different norms emerging. It does spell equality within society. We are going horizontal now. We are not going vertical. Are we going to follow people like we did in Capricorn, leaders, people we admired that we wanted to be just like them? But now we're going horizontal, where it doesn't matter who you are or what you stand for. You are equal in your beliefs. So Aquarius rules technologies and, of course, innovation in those technologies. We had experienced the air element from 1980 to 2000, and this brought about the internet. The internet is Aquarius, combining and connecting the world together through one system. So this is human revolution. It is advancements in scientists, the breaking down of what we believed of where we came from as humans could be discovered. We could discover sciences with our healthcare system and the DNA strand, the genes. We can revolutionize our thought processes, producing inventions, space exploration, enlightenment, intellectual freedoms, self-realizations, and where the individual stands within the group, not with the group. Aquarius is ruled by the 17th card in the tarot, which is the star. The vision way out there with that falling star and the wish that you make for the future. It is the hope and the promise of that future that we are willing to dismantle and fight in order to obtain it. So this can be a persistence that is extremely enduring, as it was with the United States and the birth of the United States. An element of we are not giving up. We will fight to the death in order to make a better future for other people in the future. So this is long-term planning with the star. It is aspirations and the directive to change course and to make plans. Pluto here will first seek to dismantle any dysfunction within society. What is underneath? And what are we not aware of? The Black Internet, underground movements that are criminal. So here, hopefully, Pluto seeks to expose activities within a technological advanced society in order to root out those dysfunctions. Human trafficking, prostitution, the use of various individuals or humans to make profit. That is what Pluto in Aquarius will seek to discover, the truth. Because once we can recognize the truth, there is a relief, because then we can actually start to rebuild and restructure. His movements are very slow, and we're not done with Capricorn just yet. And Capricorn is about that uprooting and dismantling and restructuring governments, leaders, corporations, and how we do business within the world. This is changing over the next couple of years as we are transferring power from government to the people, as it was in democracy. So in those countries like Canada and the United States, we have cancer countries. The power lies with the people. And people give the directive to the government. They are elected officials. So we that are never and have never in a democracy been designed to be dictated to by government. When Pluto reignites Aquarius, people will fight once again for their equality and their freedom, their ability to take control and power of their own direction. That is what democracy is. So the next couple of years can see a collapse, as we're seeing now in various countries, Haiti, Israel, the collapses that are occurring around the world, and the fight of the people to say, we exist, we matter. So this change that is happening coincides with us moving from the earth element to air. We are dawning into a new age of Aquarius. We are bringing forth equality in a whole new way of how we react as a human global existence. This will be a determination within society to make changes. This is people power, pushing the extremes in order to be recognized. And yes, some of us may die for this cause with Pluto here. New communities can spring up. The uncovering of corruption within various sectors in our society. The demand for privacy, independent belief systems, new technologies that will move mankind beyond ourselves and into the future. We can see technologies emerge for environmental issues, the disposal of sewage waste or toxic waste. Where is it going? How can we deal with it? This will also uncover who is in control of the wealth. Those companies who are gleaning wealth over the concepts of environmental management. Are they making a difference to the environment, or are they simply deriving income? So Pluto is very much about deficits, debt. It's about big wealth. Who's got it? And when you got big wealth, you're in power. So this is about dismantling and finding out what and who actually is making an impact to change environmental concerns. And how are these toxins and disposal systems affecting humanity? So we can see humans changing the corner, whether we coincide with environment or not, or government or not, where we can actually begin to spring up into our own communities and produce our own environmental management, our own wealth, our own independence. These are mass movements that are about to take place and significant changes coming over the next couple of years. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. Saturn structures the advancements in the technologies and the future. It brings it into reality. Uranus, on the other hand, is swift, fast movement that surprises the best of us. And so we have Saturn in Pisces, which is very much about determining what we believe in and what information is being fed to us by governments that perhaps are garbage, an illusion. And then we have Uranus in Taurus, which is saying, what do you value? Is it that freedom? Is it that independence and equality? What do you value? What is worth most to you? And so with Uranus in Taurus, we can see significant shifts taking place. With Pluto, this is all about control. Who is controlling who? So with Uranus in Taurus, we have to figure out who is controlling the financial stability of our well-being. Who's got the wealth? New systems and new technology will emerge for these financial systems. Uncovering, exposure, transparency, those are issues that are based with Uranus. Uranus brings us surprise innovation. It is the mother of invention. So we need to understand that Uranus is also freedom of expression. It's hippie, bohemian. I want to go where I want. I want to do what I want to do. I want to feel good. And I want to do it in a peaceful way. And if you block me, I will rebel. So this is about making the connections, the global community. We're all in this together, whether we think we are or not. What's at stake for you in another country is at stake for me. And that's what it means, to break down the walls, to bring them down, not build them. We're all human. And Pluto will seek to bring us together one way or the other. If that means that it needs to kill some of us, it will. In order to rebirth something that's better and bigger than ourselves. So yes, Pluto is a big revolutionary beast that's really hard to gauge. It's traumatic, it's intense, it's passionate about what it's doing. And so you need to decide where your power lies. What is your power? What is your greatest strength to bring about your own independence and equality? And some of us are already making these movements. We're already beginning the process of doing what we enjoy doing, not what is necessarily necessary to do. And so I'm going to be talking about Pluto again, obviously, as we move out and transition from Capricorn into Aquarius. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, but sometimes it's a little too much to handle. And the good news is Aquarius rules astrology. And so we could see a revolution in astrology. And yet we could see some demands, expectations, that we don't just have people popping up and doing astrology, that maybe there's actually a force of credibility. So I bid you farewell and take note of what is happening now as Pluto is in Aquarius. What transitions are taking place in your life? Are you moving towards independence? Are you breaking away and separating from those people you feel have controlled you? So I'll leave you with that, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.